I was pretty sure, I think most of the country was sure that the Tories were going to lose both of those by-elections. What was interesting was the sheer size of the majority in Tiverton and Honiton, a seat which has never been held by the Lib Dems before. Actually, the biggest swing in by-election history. The second point is really interesting. Why did this happen? Was it because they ran great campaigns? Was it tactical voting? Yeah, to an extent. But I actually think it was more a vote against Boris Johnson and maybe the economic situation rather than a vote for the parties.
So the Tories lost rather than the Lib Dems winning?
Yes, though I have to say he's a very strong candidate in the Tiverton-Honiton by-election in particular. I think they really chose a good candidate there. But there's no doubt that the senior people I know in the Conservative Party are blaming Boris Johnson for this. And you've just been talking about the timing of the confidence vote. He's bought himself 12 months. They could try and change the rules, but here's when it gets complicated. You could say, well, that's cheating, like the person who wrote in said. But Boris changed the rules about ministerial honesty. So he can't do that and then expect himself to have a clear run when quite obviously a lot of Tories, maybe a majority of Tories, don't think he should be leading them into the next election.
Well, the idea that that there has been some sort of pact, though, a Lib Lab pact.
Yeah, it's a front page of the Daily Mail.
We haven't talked about that for a decade or two, have we?
40 years.
Javid saying, if there's a pact, be honest enough to tell us about it.
OK, then let's talk about the Lib Dem-Tory pact, which actually formed a government for 5 years.
Yes, but that wasn't... That was different.
Declared.
That was post-voting, wasn't it?
Yes,
so at least it was in the clear.
Hold on a sec. Neither the Tories nor the Lib Dems campaigned for that coalition before the general election in 2010. So you've got to be realistic, and Anne said it. This is politics. And if the Labour Party and the Lib Dems think they can get power by working together, it won't be a formal signed pact, but tactical voting, then they can't force the electorate to go along with it. But the electorate seemed to cooperate this time perfectly well in 2 by-elections. It's not illegal.
But no, not illegal. It's interesting, though, that in Wakefield, where Labour won, Keir Starmer has then said, well, look at these fantastic results, 12.7% swing away from the Tories and towards us. That's enough to get us a majority government. Well, not if it's down to tactical voting.
I think you're right. Keir Starmer, I have been fairly critical of. I think that if Tony Blair had been in charge, he would have probably dispatched Boris Johnson in February, March. It felt to me that Keir couldn't get the ball to the back of the political net then. And it's not a great result for Keir Starmer. In fact, the Lib Dems clearly had a much more successful result in Honiton and Tiverton-Honiton. The big question is what would happen in a general election? Because the Lib Dems, I can tell you from personal experience, are superb at focusing their resources in a by-election. It's almost their signature dish. You can't do that with 650 constituencies, so things change a little bit. Probably a bit more of a swing back. But the two big dynamics here are, will Boris be in charge? I don't think he can recover his position, in which case they'll lose all the red wall. And can Keir Starmer hold it together enough to get the soft Tories, who he needs to win back, in the red wall? And that's not really much to do with the Lib Dems.